Namaskara ellarigu. Warm welcome from C4C to all of you to the fifth episode of C4C Conversations. Many of you may already know a little bit about C4C, whose motto is to leave our surroundings a little better than we found it. C4C has been working in various fields of public interest for Bengaluru, be it traffic, public transport, afforestation, street lights, solid waste, and many more. Many of our efforts have yielded positive results, and that has encouraged us to do more. Earlier this month, C4C organized a plog run with well-known plog expert, Mr. Ram Ganesh. BBMP Commissioner Shri Manjunatha Prasad also participated. We are organizing Malay Mukti Gidagalu in collaboration with Bengaluru Hudugaru on 26th December. We are working closely with Janagraha in their efforts to end public urination and improve footpaths. C4C Conversations is a program wherein experts in various relevant fields are invited to share their knowledge with ordinary citizens like us. The first episode of C4C Conversations was on the journey of Bengaluru from Antarctica to 16th century CE by Uday Kumar. This was followed by a presentation by Yashashwini Sharma regarding the Petes and Kotes of Bengaluru. The third episode was on eco-bricks and segregation by Shri.
Yeah.
Ranjana, can you hear me, Ranjana? Ranjana, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry, you got muted. Go ahead, sir.
So all this while I was mute?
No, you are on mute from somewhere about the second episode of C4C.
Juice.
All others, please be on mute kindly.
Okay, then let me just.
You're talking about the second episode of C4C Conversation.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So the second episode of presentation was by Yashashwini Sharma, which was regarding Bengaluru's Petes and Kotes. And the third episode was on eco-bricks and segregation by Shri Venkatesh Ji of Paryavarana Sanrakshan Gatividi. Last month we had fourth episode of fourth episode on COVID-19 by pulmonologist Dr. Srivatsa Lokeshwaran. In today's episode, we are taking up a subject which has been around for a decade, but is not as widely known or understood or been used as it should be, Sakala. The Sakala law empowers citizens to avail services from government departments without spending any extra money or time. Today's expert is none other than the person who was instrumental in implementation and monitoring this program, Dr. B.R. Mamta, who is an IAS officer. I request C4C's founder and convener, Rajkumar Dugar, to give a brief introduction to Dr. Mamata before she starts her talk. If you have any question during her talks, please post it briefly in the chat box with your full name. And also mute your video. And the time available may take a few questions from attendees directly at the end. So now over to you, Raj.
Yeah, hi. Namaskara ellarigu. Can you hear me, Mamta? Can you hear me, Ranjana? Ranjana, can you hear me? Ranjana,
Yes,
can you hear
we
me?
can
Yeah,
hear.
okay. Ellarigu namaskara. IAS officer
Yes.
Dr. B.R. Mamta is presently Additional Mission Director, Sakala Mission, Government of Karnataka. She has traversed a long 3 decades journey as an administrator, donning various hats, first as a KS officer and then as an IAS officer. The wide range of experience she brings has made her an ideal choice to head the Sakala department, from BBMP PRO, Joint Director at Information Department, OSD to Chief Ministers, Media Advisor to Deputy CM and Home Minister, CEO of Tumkuru District, DC and DM of Ramanagaram District, Mission Director at National Rural Livelihood Program. Well, the list is long. Dr. Mamta has trained policymakers, drafted public policies, and dealt hands-on with the day-to-day work of governance at all levels. Her achievements are many. As an illustration, I will delve briefly only on her tenure at Ramnagaram. As the DC or DM of Ramnagaram, Dr. Mamta worked as executive head of the district, which was grappling with severe drought. She spearheaded Jalandolana, an innovative people's movement for water management. During her tenure, Ramnagaram became the only district in the country where a massive disaster management workshop involving thousands of youth from different backgrounds was conducted. For the first time, a district disaster management plan and disaster management teams at district, taluk, and panchayat levels were created. Also, it became the first district to develop an innovative online time-bound public grievances system with a 24/7 toll-free call center and a command center. Dr. Mamata supported women entrepreneurship by setting up the country's first women industrial park at Haruhalli in Ramnagaram district. Dr. Mamta has always believed in multitasking and has her nose buried in a book more often than not, even while dealing with complicated problems of state administration and working out how best to ensure that governance reaches the common man and facilitates a better life for him. She combines her love and knowledge of software, user interfaces, communication, and the use of cutting edge technology with her passionate desire to help improve the lives of those who desperately need it. Her PhD from Bangalore University, a study of the organizational communication system and the introduction of models using various information technology communication tools to increase the introduction to the system efficiency, is a clear example of the unique skills that she brings to the table of governance. I will not go through the list of trainings she has undertaken and the list of trainings she has imparted, her wide research interests and experience, and her professional memberships. Suffice it to mention that she is the recipient of Dr. Masti Venkatesh Iyengar Gold Medal for Academic Excellence during 87-88, Best Officer Award for Services Rendered to Bangalore City Corporation Kempegowda Award, Sarvottama Seva Award 2013-14, Best Office Award from the Government of Karnataka, and the Prime Minister Award for the team for implementation of Sakala, the time-bound guarantee of Public Services Act in Karnataka state. She is married and to a research scientist, and they have a daughter. Dr. Mamta is also a painter and is interested in all kinds of crafts, cultural heritage, creative writing, and non-fiction. Web designing, technical writing, and multimedia are the other areas of her specialization. Her weekly column, Unseen Karnataka, in the New Indian Express was extremely popular. I request Dr. Mamta to enlighten us about the various facets of Sakala so that we may understand how to use this law to obtain services from various government departments. Please post your queries in the chat mode, and at the end of her presentation, I shall request her to respond to some of the queries depending on availability of time. I request all participants to please be on audio mute, and I think she's starting with a small video. Let's see. Dr. Mamta, please take over.
Thank you, Raj. I request Ranjana to play the video. This is a very familiar scenario, what you will be seeing now in this video. is a familiar scenario that happens to anybody that goes to a government office to get their work done. Are you playing the video, Ranjana, or should I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm playing. Is it visible and audible, ma'am?
Yes, very much.
No, not audible.
Yeah, this is only a video, not there is no audio. It's all right.
Quería darme de alta en autónomos.
Ventanilla de información, modelo PA1, no cumplimiento de SMS y después.
Estoy de reunión.
Lo relleno las cosas. Vayan las mesas por el lado.
Creo que copias escritas y revisadas.
Ah, ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕುಂಬಳಕಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡು. ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಕುಕ್ಕರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕೆಳಗಿಡ್ಬೇಡ, ಮೇಲೇನೆ ಇಡು ಕುಕ್ಕರ್.
ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಆಡಿಯೋ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶಬ್ದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ?
Fotocopia de la tarjeta de la seguridad social. Fotocopia de los impresos de quién.
Okay, I think this looks like a very familiar scenario. Anybody visiting a government office. Here, actually, this is a scene from a film, but this fellow is all the time, the government officer is all the time not available in his seat. By the time he is available, he is not giving her what she requires. So she takes everything ready with her. And that's her frustration. You can see her frustration. She's taken everything ready with her. She's giving him everything. But then, each time he asks for a new thing, she's brought all the new things. In the end, he says, no, you go back to the desk, take a stapler, staple it. So she has a stapler also. She staples it and she, beats him to it. So this is the kind of frustration that used to happen, that all happens when anybody goes to a government office. So I will just show you a presentation and I'll take you through what Sakala is all about. Sakala was a brainchild of political will, administrative action, and the participation of citizens. So it has all the three ingredients that is necessary to make any government program a grand success. I will just share my presentation. Yeah, can you see the presentation, all of you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So Karnataka Sakala Services 2011 Act of 2014, I'll just tell you the story of how it came about. The chief minister used to be fed up with seeing long queues in front of his office. Every time there is a Janata Darshan, or every day in the morning, there'll be huge queues in front of his house and in front of his office when he comes to the office. So he said, why is that there are so many people coming to me? If people are doing their work correctly, why should people come to me with these complaints? So then, then came the thought as to what can be done to make people get their services so that they don't have a complaint. What is a grievance after all? A grievance is a service denied or service rejected, or a service not given is something that turns into a grievance. So if the service is given on time in the way that they wanted, if the accessibility to the service is easy, people need not go to pillar to post complaining. So at that time, Bihar government had one act, and they were doing something called the Bihar Guarantee of Services Delivery Act. So inspired by that, we all visited Bihar, and we saw that they were doing some 13 to 14 services at that time, and it was all manually done. So when we got back, we sat down and thought that let us put this on an online platform. So the Karnataka Sakala Services 2011 Act, which is an amended Act, is 40 Act, which is amended in 2014, is nothing but Karnataka Sakala. So guarantee of services to citizens. So this, it says no more delays, we deliver on time. The vision of this act was to be a citizen-friendly governance with time-bound services guarantee. The mission was, of course, on-time delivery of government services by not only just delivering, but also practicing innovative and efficient management techniques, capacity building the government, and empowering citizens to exercise their right to services. So we recognize that right to services is a right of every citizen, and we have to guarantee it to be a time-bound act. So it emerged in 2011, 12 actually. The act was done in 2011. The Sakala mission came into being in 2012. Sakala actually means in time. And it was this in-time delivery of services. This word Sakala actually was given by citizens. We had from the beginning, we had this division that citizens should become a partner in whatever that government does. The citizen is a very major stakeholder and a partner, not just a stakeholder, but also a partner in the governance. So how do we make citizens participate? How do we make people understand what it is? So one of the ideas was to, I think somebody just needs to mute. So so what we did finally is we called out a competition for naming this act. We gave the parameters of the act and all the features of this act, and said, can you name it? So there was a competition. There was a 1 lakh prize for it, for anybody who can give a good name. So 2 people gave this name Sakala, and to judge this, we had a panel of 3 eminent citizens, one literary person, one person from the art world, and the other person was a journalist. Very senior people, very eminent, very well respected citizens. And this whole thing was held in town hall, where anybody, while the judging is going on, anybody can watch, go there and sit down and watch the deliberations. On a large screen, the names that were given by the citizen, the name of the person was being shown. And citizens were also allowed to vote. So they could also vote on the preference. So that is how Sakala came in. I don't think anybody in the government, anybody could have given a better name than this. In fact, everybody even today asks, how did you come about by this beautiful name? In addition, we have a logo. You can see a logo on top, the Sakala logo. The logo was also given by citizens, again on a competition. It is actually a clock which keeps ticking, and when the time that was promised is it passes the promised time, it turns into a justice hammer. So it means there is it takes action on something which passes the time, which is overdue or delayed disposal. So the significance of the act was we standardized and simplified citizen service delivery systems, made government more accountable to citizens. It is a time-bound service delivery. We have an IT system in place to bring all services online. The project has already crossed 8 years. We've also got the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration, National Award for E-Governance, Commonwealth Association for Public Administration and Management Award, that is called the KEPAM Award. So there are several awards, such awards that this act has got and this mission has got. And one of the best compliments we've ever got is Government of India actually modeled their Service Delivery Act on Sakala. Sakala is a forerunner and on which Government of India and several other states have put their act in place. And the biggest compliment came from Bihar, when the Bihar Chief Minister said, whatever you have done, you have taken from Bihar and you have done it, what you have done with the Bihar Act is something Bihar has to learn from you. So that was the thing. We have a call center. The call center is 44554455. So right now, this was the journey. We have about 1025, actually 1019 is the last week's figure. We have 1025 services, 98 departments, 22 lakh, over 22 lakh receipts, and 22 lakh 85, 22,000 crores, 85 lakh disposed on time. So that means the strike rate is 95.8%. So these are some of the features of the Act. It gives the right to citizen to obtain related services within a stipulated time and in the schedule. Then there are in section 3.2 it says there will be designated offices shall mandatorily have Sakala notice board. Every citizen having applied for a service shall be provided with an acknowledgement number, which is a 15-digit unique GSC number, which will, with this number, you can anytime look at the status of your application. You will know exactly on whose desk this application is lying. Then section 5A makes mandatory acknowledgement to be given to every citizen who is giving a application. 5.2 will say that designate officer shall, within the stipulated time, provide the service or reject the application, recording the reason for rejection and intimate the same to the applicant. Okay, what happens in case the application is delayed? The designate officer shall pay a compensatory cost to the citizens at ₹20 per day, and in case of delay or default, up to 500 rupees. The upper limit is 500 rupees. There will be an in-time disposal of services and appeal if the officer defaults 7 times. Disciplinary action will be made on that office. This is the act, some of the provisions of the act. So every department will have a designate officer. For example, in the revenue department, the caste certificate is given by the Tahsildar. He is a designate officer. He is bound to give it to you in a matter of 7 days. He has to give it to you in 7 days. Then in the home department, station house officer issues the FIR. So like that, we have designate officers who are necessary, who have to give the services if all necessary documents, application and all the necessary documents are enclosed. So what is the procedure for a person? Suppose you may say, what happens if a person does not give it on time? One, immediately you have a provision to go on appeal to the competent officer. The competent officer shall take an appeal. There is no fee paid with the appeal. Then a copy of your appeal shall be sent to you and through the call center. Call center will send you on your phone or on your designate email the copy. Then the competent officer reviews all the documents. He hears the public the citizen who has made the application, and also he hears the government officer. Then he looks at the copies that are given to him. Then he takes a decision. He may put a fine on the designate officer, or he may say what the designate officer has done is correct. The designate officer will usually be summoned for the hearing. Then within that date of delay, immediately the compensatory cost is transferred to the account of the citizen. And this compensatory cost, believe me, does not come from the government. It comes from the pocket, from personal pocket of the designate officer. Then the CO shall mark a copy of such order to the public authority. Now we shall just talk about some of them. These are some of the popular services that are being given. I said 1025 services in 98 departments, and these are the top takers. In a sense, most applications come for these. These are the departments. The revenue department caters to 50% of the services. Then 26% will be the other departments. So like that, we've given 8% is transport. Home is around 2%. So like that, we have 4% is Inspector General of Stamps and Registration. So this is the breakup. So this is the popular services, as I told you. Now, how do we apply? So for a citizen, it is more important to know how to apply for the various services. You can go to the Sakala website and check whether your service which you are asking for is come under Sakala or not. Then you can go to the respective offices, or you can even apply online from the portal itself. You go and submit an application in the Sakala portal. Then you get a 15-digit acknowledgement number as an SMS to the citizen. You get an immediate SMS as soon as your application is given and the lady at the counter presses submit, or press the submit on your own laptop or whatever system. You will get an SMS with a 15-digit acknowledgement number. Then this application goes to the caseworker. Then it goes to the various levels of the approval in department. Then the service is delivered either at the Sakala counter or at the desk of the designated officer. Now we are also making in the Sakala 2, we have made a new provision. So any certificates it will go into the DigiLocker. It will be in your DigiLocker. You can download it at any point of time. Then throughout the time, your status can be tracked, whether it's approved, rejected, or intermediary dependency. You can track your services through the portal or through a call center. Call center number is quite popular, 45 55 45 55. So this is the kind of acknowledgement you're supposed to get. So it is it should be, every citizen should know how it looks. So we are trying to popularize how the acknowledgement looks. What is the GST number? Because I am every day getting people to me saying, I have applied under Sakala, I have not got it on time. When I ask for them for the acknowledgement number, or when I ask them for the acknowledgement chit, they don't seem to have it. I tell them, look, you would have got an SMS, look at the number and give me the number. But they would not have got the number. They would have deleted the number. Then, it's very difficult to track. So this is the number. The GST number is HF 099 00 00 008 011. This is the the GST number. If you have this GST number, it is easy for you to track. Now, an SMS alert goes to the citizen. The SMS alert looks like this. Your application with GST number has been received. GST number is there, received by the department. You can check the status on this service request by sending SMS at GST. You can send an SMS in this format to this number. There are two numbers here, and you will get your status, whether it is approved, whether it is rejected, whether it is still pending, and whose desk it is pending. All that you will get on your So this is the portal. All you have to do is www.sakala.kar.nic.in. So the service procedures is available. You can go to the service procedure and you will see what is the service procedure. You will see in 15 days whose desk it is or for what time. The designate officer may have this for 10 days.
But there's nothing as such for quarantine.
I think somebody should please mute there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the service procedures are there in the thing. You can look at it. It will give you the workflow, whose desk it is on what time. Whether, let us take caste certificate. It goes from the Tahsildar. It will be with the RI who will do a physical verification. He will do a house call and do a verification. So it will be on his desk for 3 days. It will be on the desk of the Shirastadar for 1 day. It will be with the Tahsildar for 1 day. So like that, you know exactly number of days and whose desk it is. Then you will also see what are the services which are online. You can go here, click on this online services, and you will get the link to application, sending your application. You can search. Then there are various departments, the various offices. What is the act? All about the act. So this is it looks like this. The application looks like this. So this will be the application, the way the application looks. Then you have a workflow. So it says exactly, now receiving and verification of document of acknowledgement by case worker, 1 day. Office manager verifying, 1 day. ARO for approval to refer the file case, 1 day. So case worker to look into the Kataru books, 2 days. So like that, we have who is the person who will do it? Manager, inspector, others, case worker, manager. Like that, we have divided. So the complete workflow is available to him. Then we have also got a table on the portal which will tell you what is the service you're looking for, who is the designate officer, what is the stipulated time in which you will get the service. And in case he does not give it to you on time, whom do you contact? The assistant commissioner. And he has 15 days to dispose your appeal. If he doesn't dispose it, there is the appellate authority. The appellate authority is deputy commissioner in this case. He will have 15 days to dispose your appeal. So these are date given like this. So all the services will be listed like this. It will tell you who the designate officer is, who the competent officer is, who is the appellate authority. Now you want to suppose your application has gone overdue. We are now sending an SMS to all those people whose appeals have gone overdue, saying that you are eligible for an appeal. Please appeal by clicking on this link. We are also sending the link where he can apply for an appeal. So you can you can raise an appeal through a call center. You can just call the number, they will raise an appeal, or you can actually go to the competent officer and submit a formal letter, or you can raise an appeal online. So once the appeal is raised, citizen will get a first appeal number, FAP. That will also come as an SMS. Then he also will get 20 rupees per day with a maximum limit of 500 rupees. He can approach the competent authority for the compensation. When he gives the appeal, automatically it is taken as that he is asking for a compensation also. So this compensation will automatically be sent to him. Government has made a corpus fund from which immediately the money is debited to, credited to the citizen's account and debited from the government account. Then very next month's salary, that money is taken, debited from the HRMS, that is the Human Resource Management System, against the officer. It is debited from his salary. So this is the automated message. We send these automated messages to the designate officers, to competent officers, saying that there is an application pending with you. There are 5 applications pending with you. There are 3 applications pending, or there's 1 application, or there are 50 applications. So every day, the designate officer is reminded, you have these many applications pending with you. Please do something about it. Then for awareness and usage assistance, we have mandatory display of notice boards. Every office will have a notice board outside saying who is the competent authority, what is the service, who is the competent authority, how many days you will get the service from. If you don't get it, who is the competent authority? If that doesn't happen, who is the appellate authority? Then on Vidhan Saudha, I don't know how many of you have seen this on Vidhan Saudha. You have this clock which tells you every second how many applications are being received and how many are being disposed. Every second it keeps changing. It's called the Sakala clock. Then every office, you have that display of Sakala clock in front of the office on an LED screen. This LED screen will also play awareness messages. It will educate people about Sakala. So those who go to an office to get their service, they are greeted by the Sakala board, and they're also greeted by the video telling them to apply under Sakala. To know the status or to do something, we are also putting self-help kiosks in most busy areas. Like suppose you go to a Bangalore One center, you will have a kiosk outside. So we also have done a lot of campaigns. We are still doing a lot of campaigns. So these are some of the pictures of the campaigns that we have done. We bring out a monthly magazine on Sakala. We also give out free of cost. Anybody wanting an ACT book can take it from us free of cost. Now we are not giving any books. We are giving it to them as a WhatsApp, on digital form, on WhatsApp or on email. Then there is a call center, 445555. This call center, anytime you can call, you will get assistance for Sakala. So this has happened only because the political will was there to do this. At that time, I told you, Chief Minister was very upset. He wanted this something to be done so that citizens don't have to run from pillar to post. Then we have there is a regular training program for all our officers. First, what we did is we took the employees association in confidence. The employees associations were trained to see a citizen. Employee is nothing but a citizen. Actually, he is also a citizen. So he will also have to run pillar to post to get things done. So citizens were first taken into confidence. We held a lot of workshop with citizens. The officer is a citizen first. So we held a lot of workshops with the officers, took their consent because they also will require this service. We made them work out the number of days they require to give the service. Make the workflow. All the workflows were also done by citizens, by officers. So a lot of workshops were done with officers and trained. All officers were trained in using Sakala. Now, what is the Sakala impact? Like some of the most required services, we find that the stipulated time is 21 days for caste. First, it was 21 days for caste certificate. After some days, we realized we were doing it in 9 days. So now we have fixed it at 7 days. All type of income certificates were taking 21 days. First time they fixed 21 days. Later on, we have changed it to 8 days. Change of Kata was actually fixed at 60 days. We found that they could give it within 23 days. So then we have now fixed it at 25 days. Change of agriculture land to non-agriculture purposes, 120 days was the stipulated time as per the Act. Now we have changed the Act. We have amended the Revenue Act and started giving Sakala, change of, it's called conversion, the conversion certificate in 45 days. Driving license used to be 30 days. It's come down to 8 days. Duplicate driving license is 12 days. Earlier it was 30 days. Building license was 60 days. We are now doing it at 20 days. Kata extract was 7 days. We're doing it at 7 days. 5 days. So like that, we have made a lot of changes. What is the success factor of Sakala? See, Sakala is not just an act. It is a it's a reformatory, a participatory and reformatory thing, because we make reforms based on our understanding. I said one of these is reforms. The second, some of the reforms I can think of what we have done is, see, earlier you had to go to housing board or BDA to apply for a site. You had to give a domicile certificate, which would take a long time. Now you are allowed to give a self-signed affidavit. Okay, people may think that won't there be a lot of frauds because of the self-signed affidavit? See, there is a deterrent factor. When you give a self-signed affidavit, you are liable to be jailed if you have given a wrong affidavit. So there is a punitive thing there, but we have given it. Then caste certificate. Earlier, to get a SC/ST caste certificate, you have to change every year. Every year you have to go and get a certificate. You have to stand in the queue. It will take a very long time. Now you can, SC/ST caste certificate is a one-time thing. It is valid for lifetime. So you don't have to keep going back. This is another reform made. Then another reform is that earlier, to get a birth certificate, you have to go to corporation. Now you will get your birth certificate at the hospital where the baby is born. So similarly, a lot of reforms have been made. Now with my portal, I am able to see which department is which department has more overdues. In that department, which service has more overdues. In that service, which taluka or which grama has more overdues, which office has overdues, which officer has more overdues. So I'm able to do a lot of analysis, fishbone analysis. I'm able to do root cause analysis. So we bring in a lot of reforms. What is the success factor? We have a minister for Sakala. I don't think anywhere in the country you have a minister for just one act. So that is, we have a minister. It's closely monitored by additional chief secretary. The mission director heading the mission is a additional chief secretary. I am the additional chief secretary, additional mission director. There's a continuous review and supervision at the level of chief secretary. Citizen participation became the key. So that is the able leadership that has been given to this program. There's a lot of active contribution by consultants. Lot of consultants, IIM, like University of Chicago said, I think Eric, he said that even in US we don't have something like this. So there's the involvement of officials. We have taken the consent of officers. So when I made this presentation to Rajasthan Chief Minister, he asked me one question. He said, okay, it's a very beautiful, the way you've done is very nicely done and everything. Just tell me one secret. How did you manage to get the consent of government officers? We have tried to bring this act, and every day there are Rasta Rokos, there are Dharnas, there are protests, strikes. How did you get it without one single strike? That I said that was the way we planned it. We got the involvement of officers, and we have trained all the officers and capacity. See, one of the things that we told the officers when the Employees Association chairperson came in and met, the president came and met us, we said, see, first of all, it's a very shameful thing that people have a very bad opinion of the government. Okay, so it is your credibility, your own self-respect that is at stake, and you are a citizen yourself. You will go to another office and stand in the queue. So why don't you, all of us, get together and do something? Then we also we created a lot of publicity and awareness is done through the call center. We have a robust and strong IT backbone. All departments are linked. All department databases are linked, and they're open through the Sakala portal. This portal gives you an opening to access to all the departments. And you don't even need to know, suppose you want a driving license, you don't need to know which department is giving you the driving license. All you have to go and enter, apply on Sakala. Then there is departments have taken ownership. Then Sakala staff, of course, I cannot, we have some very dedicated staff and they have done it. We have several awards and appreciation, as I told you. We got DL Shah Quality Awards. We got EL ETS Cloud Governance Award. We got Google Innovator Award, Prime Minister's Award. Then there are a lot of concurrent evaluations that have taken place. Administrative Training Institute, Mysore has done it. IMRB has done it. Market Research Bureau. Then we have University of Chicago, as I told you. University of Chicago has done this evaluation, and they've told us, even in America, we are not able to get services like this. Indian Institute of Development Management, Bhopal has done this. Then Government of India has done it. Department of Public Grievances, Reforms and Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. IIM Bangalore has done an evaluation. Karnataka Evaluation Authority has done an evaluation. United Nations has done an evaluation. Then Law University has done an evaluation. Every month, we give out awards to officers whose departments are, where we rank districts, we rank officers, the competent officers, we rank the designate officers. So we give certificates like this every month. If the person has he has delayed a service, he gets a show cause memo. The system auto generates the show cause memo. We don't even have to apply our mind. It will generate it, and it will give an alert to the officer that he is getting a show cause memo. It will alert us that he needs to be given a show cause memo. So what we try to say is, we require the citizens' participation. We want citizens to be able to come and the risk is that every government doing a new thing, and when the new government comes, these acts are gone. But however, if a citizen demands for it, if he acquaints himself, he participates fully in it, then no act or no system or no delivery of service can be stopped. So you must actually be the change you wish in the world. That's what Mahatma Gandhi has said. Then what he has also said is Swaraj means a lot more than political freedom for a nation. It essentially means enlightened, ethically guided, self-governance, or citizen empowerment. So finally, it is actually depends and it's put on your shoulder. The ball is in your court. Citizens should come forward and more and take services and demand services. If there are officers, I'm telling you, officers are trying to bypass. You must be able to say, look, this service is under Sakala. Why are you not giving it to me under Sakala? So thank you very much.
Oh, wow. This was really great. Dr. Mamta, can we take a few questions? There are some already put up in the chat mode. Can I just go through that once?
Sure, sure.
Okay, there is Lakshmi who has said, we had a very bad experience in getting death certificate for our in-laws. It really took more than 6 months. But after we got there were spelling mistakes. And again, when we gave for correction, it took months again. This happened in Dharwad and finally we got it. Any brief comments on this?
Yeah, death certificate comes under Sakala. If you apply under Sakala and you cannot have spelling mistakes in Sakala. It has to be given to you within 7 days. 7 days, when you get the certificate, it will be in your DigiLocker. If you have a DigiLocker, it will be sent to your DigiLocker. Any spelling mistakes or anything, the officer, you can immediately alert the officer. He's supposed to correct it immediately. First of all, there should not be spelling mistakes. See, what has happened is, I'm sure when you made the application, you didn't realize it is Ansakala. The officer in the desk has also not bothered to guide you to take the application or taken the application under Sakala. He has manually taken your application and you have not realized this. That is why we are now giving a lot of stress on educating citizens. So we will be having a lot of webinars. We are going to have many radio talks, television programs in the coming months on Sakala. So we want to educate each and every citizen on Sakala. And what I suggest is, if you can spread the word, the 4455 is a call center. It's a 24/7 call center. It is also toll free. So you can make a call anytime, find out whether that service you're asking for is in Sakala, and then make sure you apply under Sakala. You can even apply through the website.
Okay, there is one question from Arvind, very basic question. Is it correct to say that we have two options for same services through Sakala, one directly without using Sakala and one through Sakala? These two options are always available, right?
No, there is only one option. If the services, all services in the government are not under Sakala. Only 1025 services are there. Okay, that is a major part. 75% of the government is on Sakala. The 25 is not on Sakala. The 75% which is on Sakala, you cannot get it non-Sakala, but people, when they bypass it, the officer sitting at the counter will bypass it because you don't seem to know about Sakala.
Yes.
Okay, that is happening. The one way, three things we are facing. In spite of being the number one in the country in this act and in the thing, and our disposal rate also is 95.8, even then, we are grappling with three issues. One is high bypass, that is high level of bypass. These bypasses happen in RTO office. The bypasses happen in revenue offices, where highest number of services are, highest demand for services are there. So the second thing is, we not getting enough appeals from citizens. See, Sakala Act does not make officers powerful. It makes citizens powerful, because you can get your service. If you don't get your service, you can appeal. whereas I cannot appeal on behalf of you. Okay, so it makes you more powerful, then you will get the compensation. So you should ask for it. We are now trying to ask for suo motu appeals so that we can ourselves file. Suppose, person has not filed an appeal, we can ourselves file an appeal. And so we are educating people on SMS. Look, your service is overdue. You are eligible for an appeal. Why don't you click on this link and appeal? So that we have gone to that level of saying. So third thing is rejection, high rejections without reason. They don't give you reasons, they will reject it. So that they're not allowed to. Sakala services, they have to give you a reason. And the reason should be valid. If the reason is not valid, you can still appeal. Or if they don't give you any reason, you can still appeal.
Okay, connected with this, there is a question from Kishore Singh. Now, like you said, bypass has taken place and service request has gone without Sakala. Is it possible midway to switch over to Sakala to obtain the same services? Is question.
No, I didn't get his question because
now, for example, he has applied through the without using Sakala. And at some point of time in the middle of the process, he decides to switch over to Sakala.
He can demand for it. He can definitely demand for it and say, why have, first of all, he can demand, he can complain also that the so-and-so officer has bypassed the Sakala. Then the officer will, show cause notice will be issued to that office.
No, is the onus on the officer or the citizen regarding this bypass thing?
Citizen. Because what will happen, the officer will, I'm telling you, suppose I know somebody has bypassed. I won't even know because you would have come and gone to an office and they would have bypassed it. And I don't know. I think only 10 applications have been received. In effect, manually 10 other applications are received. Okay. So in such cases, only if a citizen tells us, we know. In such cases, he can always tell us and then, complain to us and we will always take an action on that office.
No, my point is there an onus on the officer to inform the applicant that this service is available on Sakala?
There is an onus, but that's why I said, as soon as you enter an office where Sakala services are there, there is a board outside which tells you. Then there is an LED screen which tells you there is Sakala services. In spite of that, if you have not done it, the officer, there is an onus, but then he will not tell you. But there's no way I can punish him for not telling you. I can only punish him if you come and tell me, look, so-and-so has bypassed my application, then, action will be taken on.
What if there is no board? What if there is no?
That is why we are insisting, and I have recently we are doing Sakala Saptahas on every department, and we are visiting on random and checking also. That also we are doing. We have our own IT consultants in every district. In every department we have our Sakala nodal person whose duty it is to check, and every day they're supposed to. Every new service is added, they have to supposed to show it to us on WhatsApp that it has been added onto the board and the board is there. So it is the onus is on him to check it. We are doing this random checking also.
Manjari Ramachandra.
Suppose you don't know. Suppose, okay, let me tell you one more thing. Suppose a person has a doubt whether this service is there or not on Sakala. Call center is there. No, you just make a call. They will tell you.
Okay, there is a question from Manjari and Amarnath Reddy. Does BWSSB and Pollution Control Board come under Sakala?
Yes. BBMP, some of the Kata transfer, all that comes under Sakala. Building license, all that comes under Sakala. Pollution Control Board also has a few services under Sakala. Not all services of BBMP are on Sakala.
Okay.
We are slowly getting. See how do we take a service on Sakala? One is a request by the department. If they don't request, we will keep observing and seeing how many applications are going there. If it's a high demand service, we automatically, we don't allow, it's a suo motu, we try to take it under Sakala. Chief Secretary reviews it, he gets complaints, Chief Ministers get complaints, they know which are the services which are, then immediately a letter goes to BBMP Commissioner saying that please add this service, please come and, do whatever necessary to add the service under Sakala.
One last question in the chat mode. I find, this is from Manohar BS, I find permanent notices displayed in sub-registrar's office that for getting EC or copies of documents, that online server is down. So people have to depend on sub-registrar staff and get their services done for a price. What's the remedy for this?
There is definitely a remedy for this. He cannot permanently have his line down. Okay. Okay, one day it may be correct. But this also we are trying to do. Random checking is going on. I myself keep going on inspections. My old staff, we are setting up a vigilance cell also now to check on all these things, because these kind of things are like I myself went to an office recently, and I just went like that generally, and I was wearing a mask and my headgear, so they didn't even know who it was. So when I went there, they had put up a board that service is down, server is down, we can't do much. Then I said, okay, let me sit on your system and see if the server is down. When I showed him that it was working, so immediately, he very sheepishly said, no, it was not working before. So I had put the board. So there's no way of checking, Sometimes there is need for people to have, that conscious is also necessary.
Okay, the chat mode question, there's one more. Why is Sakala not being made mandatory, at least for fee services? It will discourage officials from bypassing. This is from Subramanya.
Fee services is what?
School
fee.
Sakala services to be made mandatory only through Sakala.
That is, no, we have done that. No? It's mandatory. Government orders have gone. But then, that's why I'm saying there will always be a black sheep who would like to make a fast buck. So people have to complain also about that. Unless people, that's why the next 3 months are going to be very aggressively on educating. We've already done it once. I remember. I don't know whether you remember in between 2012 to 2014, we were like very aggressive on the public campaign. Now we are again very aggressive. We are now trying to go to resident associations. We are going even self-help groups. I had 11,68,000 self-help group members in my earlier job. So I'm using them now to reach the word to every doorstep.
Okay, at this point, if you're okay with it, Dr. Mamta, I'll open it to the attendees. If anybody wants to ask any question, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Anybody wants to ask now? Can you hear me? I have received a few questions. How does a citizen get to know authentically and easily that a particular service is under a particular department is available under Sakala? How does a citizen?
Call center.
Okay.
Or make a call.
Okay. Now next is, does your department have any mechanism to help citizens who want to avail services under Sakala but do not know how to go about it or are stuck somewhere in between?
Call center.
Okay. In case we find some department which has not got its display on the Sakala board and all that, can we
send me a WhatsApp
okay.
to Sakala, to call center also you can send the WhatsApp message.
Okay. Is it true that utilization of Sakala is more in the semi-urban and rural areas compared to, for example, Bangalore? What may be the reason?
I didn't get your question, please.
The utilization of Sakala by citizens, is it true that it is more in semi-urban and rural areas than in an urban area or cities?
Yes. Yes.
Why? Any reasons for that?
Because what I'm going to say now many people may not like it. I find if there is a corrupt system, if the system is not working properly, who is responsible for it? As citizens itself. We have, when I want to get my service earlier than somebody else, quickly cut the line, get it. So that is what is happening in Bangalore. They just want to get things done. They're not bothered about there are ways and means of getting things. So they're used to those ways and means. And when we are trying to tell them a better way of doing things, people don't seem to be interested.
Okay, I'll ask you one question bluntly. Now,
we have to create that awareness.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
this question is a little blunt. Now, there are two options. One is Sakala, one is bypassing. Now, I, as a citizen, may have my case may be having a small question mark somewhere. I'm just talking generally. So if I go through Sakala, the officer concerned might put his foot down saying that something is not right, so you're rejected. So I can go 10 times, it will get rejected. Whereas if I go through the bypass method, I might be able to get my work done. How do we take care of this situation?
No, let me tell you one thing. When somebody is not eligible for it, or somebody is not put the right kind of documents, even if you go through the bypass, you may not get it. Okay, you will not get it. The bypass is only for a legal thing to, for vested interest to use the legal thing itself in an illegal way. Okay, so only if your application is eligible completely, all documents are there. Okay, now I get a lot of complaints. Recently, I had about 10 people coming from a resident welfare association of an apartment block. They told me, look, we have been trying to apply for Kata transfers. We have not got it. We've gone 10 times. 1 year ago, I made an application. I'm overdue. I have not been. So I was like surprised. I said, 1 year ago and you're overdue and you've not got a compensation. Why didn't you apply, go on an appeal? No, we don't want to go on an appeal. Why don't you call up the officer and tell them, you can use your powers. And, then I said, look, I'm not here to use my powers. If you have an acknowledgement for Sakala and you give it to me, I will probably find out why. I'll tell you in 5 minutes why your application has not been. So I called in front of them only. I called the concerned officer. I gave them the GSC number and I said, will you please check up and tell me? They came back and said, the developer has cheated them. Developer has not paid the developer fee and there is no occupation certificate given to that apartment. So without an occupation certificate, how will you get a Kata transfer? Okay, so the officer said, I cannot do it, ma'am, because of these reasons. So then when I explained to them, they were like very upset. They said, you are claiming that everything will be done under Sakala and why are you not doing it? I said, see, I can do it only if you're due and eligible for it. Of course, the developer not paying the developer fee or you not getting an occupation certificate because of some reason, we can try and look into that. Why don't I just call the BBMP commissioner and said, why don't you give them a hearing so that if there is a genuine problem, help them sort it out. Okay, this is how people, even citizens also try to bypass the system by coming to Sakala and saying, another case is the person. No, I just finished with this example. There's another case just today morning. The person comes and says that his Kata transfer is not being done. And it is nearly 6 months. So I took up the case. I said, this cannot be done. And I looked at his GSC number. I called the concerned person. I said, have you got? So he says, ma'am, we have already given him a rejection slip and we've given the right reasons. What is the reason? There is a dispute between the father and the son. The father has given an objection to his son making the Kata in his name. So how do we do that? So this fellow gets very upset and screams and shouts and goes. So this kind of things happen.
Yeah. If anybody wants to ask, please unmute yourself. There's one more question from Lakshmi.
Can you please hello?
Through Sakala. One moment. Yeah. Can we get a Khata through Sakala? This is the question.
Kindly
Sakala
repeat the.
See, if it is
kindly repeat the call center
Sakala
number once.
Yeah, call center number is 4455, correct?
4455.
Thank you.
Yeah. This Kata thing which somebody has asked, yes, you can get only A Kata through Sakala. B Kata is not under Sakala.
Okay. Anybody else, please unmute yourself if you want to ask. I have received one suggestion which I want to pass on to you, Dr. Mamta.
Yeah.
Just like RTI, Sakala should
Yeah.
also be included in the syllabus at a suitable level in the pre-university education.
I agree. I agree with you totally. We need to do it. We are also thinking in terms of having a commission, just like RTI commission. There may be a service delivery commission also. So an independent body can also sit over the service delivery.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Manohar, please go ahead.
I'm thankful to Madam Mamata because she had very lucidly explained the whole process of Sakala and all that. It's a very good scheme, no doubt. I do understand. But based on my experience in the last 2 years and all that, I find just in the revenue department, for example, if you want to obtain a survivorship certificate after the death of a family member, if you want to get a survivorship certificate or a certificate of family tree and all that, you apply and all that, then for everything, then there is a visit by the revenue inspector to the house, to our house. And how can you avoid this human intervention? That's what we can evolve some method.
Some
You can-
places we have some places we have done away with this human. Like for example, I told you domicile certificate. Even for domicile certificate, people would come to your house and check it. We've stopped it. You can give a self-attested affidavit.
Because that
No,
again leads to sort of
notarized
corrupt practices.
No,
And they will
notarized
try to
affidavit.
give their own fancy terms.
Mr. Manohar,
See, the
please.
notarized.
Please.
Okay, now a couple of things we have. Sakala 2 is in the offing. Very soon you will have Sakala 2 coming in.
Okay.
Sakala 2 has some features of what you're trying to tell now. One of them is you will have in Sakala 2 that certain places wherever necessary for field visit or inspection will be bypassed. You will get your certificate, but the visit will happen later.
I see.
Suppose they find that you yourself signed or notarized affidavit is wrong, they will be
Yes.
persecuting. There will be a criminal case booked on that person.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Any
good,
other
madam. I think
question?
you have to devise some way. Yeah.
Any
We
other-
cannot do away with the physical verification, but it will be done later.
You can reduce it at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question by anybody? Please unmute yourself. We'll take a last one question if anybody has, and we'll close. Anybody?
Only thing I want to suggest
Yes.
that is
Your
the
name,
three
please.
departments.
Name.
One
Your
is
name, please. Your name?
I am Vijay.
Yes, sir.
I'm Vijay calling. See, only three departments I have watched. Is one is corporation, the other is sub-registrar office, and the third one is the RTO office. These are the three places where your vigilance people have to be very active.
I agree with you. I agree with you. These are the top defaulters also in our list.
If
So
these
recently, recently I
three
had
are
the
set right, madam. Madam, if these three are set right, you are setting right the 50% of the whole thing. Maximum
Okay,
problems are here.
we recently had Sakala Saptaha 1 week for transport department, revenue department, urban development, that is BBMP and others, and one more department. 4 departments we had: revenue department, urban development, transport, and one more department. 4 departments, labor department. 4 departments we had had Sakala Saptaha. Transport has brought down their delay disposal to 0%, 100% on time delivery.
Very good.
65% delay disposal has been brought down in revenue department in 1 week.
Very good.
And the others are 32% and the other one is 2%.
By the same time, I want to ask you one more. If any of the retired people, senior officers who would like to volunteer to help you in this, can you take their services?
We are trying to set up something called Sakala Mitra. So an army of people who are going to be called Sakala Mitra, who will assist the government in identifying these kind of things, because one mission cannot be everywhere. So,
No, that is right. If you can take the voluntary services of the senior officers who are really honest and dedicated, who have the cause for the genuine things, can you tell, why don't you just promote them also? See, the retired
yeah,
people.
good idea. We'll take your suggestions.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Kishore Singh has a question. He has been raising his hand. Please unmute yourself, Kishore Singh. Please unmute yourself, Kishore Singh.
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me, madam?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to know, is passport services also is included in Sakala? Passport?
No, passport is a Government of India service. They have their own act.
Thank you.
Okay, any question, last, final by anybody? Please unmute yourself right now. This is the last and final question. Anybody? Mr. Shivkumar,
Hello.
Ajay, yeah,
Hello.
Mr. Amarnath Reddy, go ahead, please. Last question.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. First of all, thank you for your time in educating us. So I have one question. So right now our apartment is having a B Khata. It's around a 10 years old apartment. We have a B Khata. Now, is there a possibility to get a Khata for it?
No, there is Ekata under Sakala, but from turning B Khata into Ekata has a different procedure altogether. That doesn't come under Sakala.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
but at least is there a possibility to get that?
There is a possibility, but that you'll have to contact your officers, because certain documents will be necessary for that. So that is.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So with this, we'll close the question answers. Thank you. It's been an extended session of Q&As. I request Ranjana to propose a vote of thanks.
Yeah, today after hearing and understanding this talk by Dr. Mamta, I feel confident of going about my requirements of availing services from various government departments. And in the long run, I will save time, money, and efforts with the help of knowledge that I have gained today. I shall also make my family and friends aware of this so as to help them handle their government-related matters better. I am sure that applies to all of us. And on behalf of C4C and all of you, I heartily thank Dr. Mamta, who readily agreed for a session on Sakala as soon as we requested her. Your talk has been enlightening and empowering too, ma'am. Thank you again. And I also thank all the attendees who have taken time out to be part of this episode. So once again, thank you all, and take good care of yourselves. Stay healthy, and C4C wishes all of you very good health and a very happy new year. See you with a new episode early next year. Good
Thank
night.
you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
This will
you.
be uploaded to YouTube and it will be available for all to go through. Thank you very much, Dr. Mamta.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.